Hello everybody, this is Tekka. In this video I'm going to be doing something that I've never done before and I hopefully won't do again, and that is a reaction video. What we're going to be doing is checking out the first part of the daily driver challenge from Linus Tech Tips. And here it is right here. We kind of already have, well, at least I kind of already have a general idea of how this is going to go. Because we've been watching their podcast quite a bit, and overall it seems it's going to be a pretty cool video. And really, no matter how this goes, it's probably going to be a net positive for Linux in general, just because of the positive press. Any press is good press, generally. So let's go ahead and jump on in. And this is going to be edited, so if you haven't watched this video yet, don't watch it through this video, go watch it separately.
Utterly paralyzing number of choices you have to make before you even...
And that's true. That's one of the most difficult things about people who are going into the Linux ecosystem, because the very first time, and like they're probably going to talk about, you get all these different lists and you have this Linux is better for this is better for that, when really they all generally do the same thing. It's just kind of the tools and things that come with them. They all have, well, not all, but a lot of them have different desktop environments, which is how you're actually going to interact with your system. The sheer number of choice does make it difficult for somebody trying to pick initially, but once you do kind of experiment and play around with a couple of the options, you kind of get a feel for what you're actually looking for.
Full of jargon that a not...
Yeah, if one of the things you do notice, if you do Google for like the best Linux anything and you go to a website that like isn't a Linux specific website, you're not really going to get that good of an answer.
Hassle to set up.
I can tell you exactly how it can be user friendly, but a hassle to set up. Ubuntu doesn't really come with a lot, and when you first get into your system, there's definitely a whole bunch of different applications and things that you're going to want to get onto your system. It's not like something like Garuda or the Pro version of Zorin that's going to be completely loaded with a whole bunch of software and everything pre-configured and perfect. Ubuntu is a great canvas, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of different distributions use Ubuntu as the base. But when it comes to the actual installation of Ubuntu, I've never had any problems, but you are going to need to do a little bit of a legwork to get it up to par to be usable for more than just opening up a text editor in Firefox.
I don't want a dozen novel ways to do the same thing. I want one fast, easy one. I mean, it's horrible.
And that seems to be the general philosophy of what GNOME, the GNOME project and the GNOME Foundation is doing. They just want people to not customize it. They want all the apps to look the same. They want a fluid experience. I understand that from their side, but for me, I love customizing GNOME, and that sucks.
With a bit of elbow grease, the gaming-centric features and tweaks of one distro could be applied to another.
Exactly. It's you could get Debian, and you could get Arch, and you can make it whatever you want ultimately.
But I want to win this thing without pulling my hair out for a month. And Pop! OS looks
I'm
like
pretty sure based on this like Twitter and all that, he ended up on Manjaro anyway, which is funny. And I've heard he completely borked Pop! OS. So let's check out what happened.
I, on the other hand, after a lot of deliberation, decided to go with the daring, the uncompromising Linux Mint.
Solid. Good choice.
And Windows couldn't possibly have picked a more appropriate time to just bug the crap out. It's like it knows what's gonna happen.
It's like his up button is stuck or something. It won't let him click it. Oh no.
It's not a Gen 4 driver any.
That's what my computer looks like right now. That's what I've been doing like for a couple hours today, is I installed a bunch of fans and stuff in my rack mount PC, which is the current PC I'm on right now, and I really enjoy having it mounted. It's nice. I understand why he did it too.
I mean,
oh no. Oh, it can go out.
You can see where it's supposed to sort of end, but it keeps
I've
going.
never seen this before.
So I'm gonna right click.
Like, this is something that like might happen in like a VirtualBox, but even bringing the mouse out of that, I've never seen that before. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't know what to do. I would just restart and hope for the best. Maybe try to get my graphics drivers reinstalled.
Okay, turning off my monitor here. To be fair, it is not installed.
Is that gonna work? That'd be nice.
Live boot environment. See if it comes back. I'm gonna turn that back on. DisplayPort, no signal. Okay.
I was worried that my Thunderbolt connection.
Oh no.
I used.
Nice.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah, Linux, especially nowadays, is really good with the hardware support. I was reading a lot of the times, well, a lot of comments on like the Twitter or his Twitter posts about this, and people are saying like a lot of the different like switchers and stuff wouldn't work, but really everything there should work with Linux, no problem. I think I have one device and it's actually, I moved it. It was a little capture card that just doesn't work with Linux. And that's really the only piece of hardware I've come across other than maybe an old laptop with a really funky Wi-Fi driver. But hardware support on Linux is pretty good. I've never had sensitivity issues.
Yep.
It's probably his mouse. He probably has a really nice mouse. I have a little $20 Logitech mouse here that looks silly compared to the size of my hand.
And it's fixed to the bounds of the screen, and the
there we go.
problem is solved. So
Nice.
Of course, I don't want to get too deep into the weeds on any of this for now, because the
Oh,
goal
I think I
today
heard
for
about
part
this.
1 is to pick a distro, get it installed, and run a game. I will definitely need Steam. Phil, I'm
Oh
supposed to-
no.
We're trying to
Wait.
move.
We'll uninstall Pop Desktop, Pop Session, GNOME Control. What? Why?
Following essential packages. And I have to type yes.
No. No, don't do that. Warning, the following essential packages will be removed. Pop Desktop, Pop Session, GNOME, Pop GNOME Initial Setup, Chrome GNOME Shell, Xorg. That's not a good look. Why did that happen? Oh, so we just needed to update the system before installing Steam. But it's been fixed. Anyways, that shouldn't be a problem. That's not a good look on Pop OS, especially in this format.
Do as I say.
Do as I say, get rid of it all.
And maybe it will install and launch now.
Nope.
What is the point of having a...
Oh, yep, that's to be expected.
Hello?
Bye, Xorg.
Did my computer just hard reset?
No, you installed everything.
What? He's dead, Jim.
okay, so we've got the Novu, or
This
however
is
that's
looking a little
pronounced,
bit better on
Windows
this side of the
Fantastic. Happy they made
this
that,
side of the
but
project. See, Linux Mint is just a solid
Pressing
Linux
the reset
distribution.
button on my computer did not, in fact, allow it to come back to life. Let's try an all the way off and start again. Not that I think
That's not
that
gonna
will do
help.
anything different. Did I manage to completely nuke my desktop environment?
Yeah,
like,
you uninstalled it. You just removed it.
just logged in and
Now, that was a issue that, like me, if I first installed Linux for the first time, like I want Steam, and I would have done the exact. Well, no, I wouldn't have typed in yes, do as I say. I probably would have looked a bit deeper into that, but it's definitely an understandable issue that definitely caused
This is
a little
what
bit
I
of a
got.
roadblock there. That's a really unfortunate for the System 76 and the Pop OS project, that it just happened to have a little issue and it
was
derailed
you guys were
them
there for
from
the whole
being
thing. Really ridiculous.
a motivating factor within this series of videos.
And
Oh, that's an
then-
easy fix.
So I need to reconfigure the desktops. Right click doesn't get me there.
It should though.
So-
No, well, that should be a thing for all graphical user interfaces, where right-click display settings. No matter what, that should be a default. It's silly if it's not. Yeah. Especially if you're in something like a virtual machine with a very low resolution and it's really hard to get through all the menus. That right-click it's needed.
I've got Manjaro loaded up here,
Here we go.
and we're gonna take another
Arch,
crack
by
at
the
this
way,
puppy.
let's go.
To be clear, it's entirely possible that I did something completely wrong, not knowing what I was doing, and I'm responsible for the OS getting bricked. The things that I did were not entirely ridiculous or unreasonable, so you can be mad at me for breaking.
He's completely
but
right
just
on that.
at least
That was
acknowledge that it could have
yeah,
happened
it was
to
equal
anyone who's
part
not already
fault of both
fully,
him and the
well-versed in
system.
the-
I definitely haven't covered Linux Mint enough. Linux Mint is, I think it was the second Linux distribution I've ever used. And I actually used Ubuntu for like a couple weeks when I was in like the 8th grade. And then I switched to Linux Mint at the time. And I probably used that for about a year or so before I ended up not using the computer enough to worry about my operating system.
Appear to have ways to run them. Discord looks like there's a way to get it going. It involves a lot of
Discord.
command line. Hopefully I won't brick my OS.
Oh no, it doesn't. You can
But step
snap
2
install.
is getting
You can do
streaming
whatever to get Discord.
Both Luke and I stream. We both need it working if we're gonna run this for a month. So good luck, everybody.
So overall, I thought that this was awesome. It's really unfortunate that he had the that problem with Pop! OS. Apparently, they completely fixed it. It just happened to be very poor timing for the Pop! OS project. But it's cool. They're in Manjaro. I use Manjaro a lot. It's not one of my top Linux distributions at the moment, but it's still a good one to be in. With that, Manjaro does have some problems, so I'm going to be interested to see how that goes. But at least with the KDE Plasma version of Manjaro, I haven't had too many significant problems. And based on watching the podcast that they do, it doesn't seem like he switched Linux distributions since then. So overall, really excited to see this series of videos. This is probably going to be the only kind of reaction style video I do. I was just kind of experimenting for the most part and testing out my new microphone. I hope it sounds good. I still need to configure it. You can probably hear my breaths a little more than I'd prefer, and I'm working on that. All that said, I do hope you have an absolutely beautiful day. The video I talked about will be linked down below. Hopefully by this point you've already watched it yourself. Yeah,